Ons spesiale gas op die show vanoggend is Jolene, ook bekend as die Pink Pitbull. Waar kom die Pink vandaan? Waar kom alles vandaan? Môre, en baie dankie dat jy saam met ons kuier.
Môre, dankie Martin.
A really unusual story, and I suppose that's why people talk about it on social media, even a documentary, I believe, that's going to be made about your life and the interesting situation that you're in. But take me back quickly. So jy is getrouwd. Okay. Met een.
Ja.
Met een man.
Ja, ek is nou so 12 jaar getrouwd aan Jack.
Gewoonlik is een man genoeg?
Ja, mense sal so dink, maar ek meen, kyk my pink haar, kyk my persoonlikheid. So nee, een is nie genoeg nie.
So jy en Jack is nou al 12 jaar getrouwd, en daar is nou 'n ander ou waarmee jy ook gaan trou, nou eind April.
Ja, oor 3 weke, ja.
Vat my gou terug, vertel my die storie van Jack eers.
So ek en Jack het ontmoet in 20, ek gaan nou nie jare gebruik nie, ekskuus julle. Net toe ek klaar gemaak het met skool, hy was hierdie all put together jong man, en ja, ons het natuurlik 4 kinders saam. Ons het klaar 2 gehad, toes my pa soos hoor, maar dink julle nie, is nou tyd nie, en toe is dit okay, en toe trou ons. Ons is in totaal amper al 16, 17 jaar saam, so...
Okay. So Jack en jy het 4 kinders, en die ander man is?
Santini Lee.
Santini Lee.
Ja.
Hoe pas hy in, waar het jy hom ontmoet?
So, ek het deur abuse gegaan.
Ja.
Met gedurende my en Jack se skei saak, which never came through. So, ek het deur abuse gegaan, en ek het toe nou by 'n boksklub aangesluit. En ja, Santini het toe nou verlief geraak op my van 'n poster af. En hy was een van my afrigters. So, dit was vir 7 maande was daar so, as hy het aanhou probeer, en toe het net soos naderhand gekuif. Ja.
So you and Jack almost got divorced?
Ja.
Okay.
Aha, okay.
And in that time you met Santini? And then you didn't get divorced to Jack, and your relationship continued to this day with Jack?
Ja.
And then Santini came into the picture, and now you want to marry him as well?
Yeah. So me and Jack were getting busy with the divorce, but every time we were at the courthouse, it was like, we can't go in there. So we didn't stay together. He moved to Durban. I stayed in Pretoria with my 4 kids. And me and Santini lived in a house together. And then when Santini asked me to marry him, it was like, okay, but then I need to get a divorce. Like, do I want to do that? And I just came up with the idea. What if we can all live happily?
Well, that's one solution to divorce. Yep. Just marry another one.
That's exactly
as well.
Yes.
I think this option is personally better than putting your kids through a divorce case and all of that. As my kids always have a father figure in the house. Yeah. So they've always got love around them, and it works for us.
But and Jack, how does he feel about all this? How did you break the news to him? Because the two of you, obviously, you've been together for so many years. You both decided we can't divorce each other. And then how do you break the news about the other guy?
Yeah.
I think that helped a lot because we were together 17 years. So we've already gotten to know each other. We've evolved. We reached a maturity in our relationship. So I put the both of them on a video call, and I was like, okay, you want me to move down to Durban and fix our marriage, but he asked me to marry him, so what now?
And
let's all move in together.
Who said that?
Me.
On the video call?
Right.
Yes.
You didn't go, okay, so I don't want to divorce you, but I also want to marry this guy, so let's all make it work together. And then what did they say? What did Jack say?
Jack is a very smart man. So he did all the pros and the cons, and he was like, divorce rate in South Africa and people like not being loyal in a relationship.
Yeah.
The ratings of that, and he was like, he already knows Santini, so his kids already love him. Let's give it a try.
How did Santini feel about this though? Because I'm assuming he thought that you would divorce Jack and that it would just be the two of you.
Move on, yeah.
How did he take it?
So Santini, because he's the new guy, he is a little bit more jealous.
Yeah.
But he took it as a shock. But it was like, do I move to Durban? Do I go back to my husband? Because I still love my husband. But this guy saved me when I was at my worst. He brought back my smile. So how do I choose? Because I've got the father of my children. I've got a guy who saved me from the darkest pit I've been in my life ever. So, yeah, it was like, okay, I'm in love with two men. What do we do from here?
How long did that journey take from you making the proposal to finding acceptance? Because I'm sure they had to go back and think about it.
No, it was about a month. Then we all moved in. So the trip down to Durban was like, I'm like, okay, Santini, when we stop in Durban, I'm going to like kiss my husband, hello, and like, how are you going to deal with all of this stuff? And yeah, so we stopped in Durban, I kissed Jack, and I saw Santini was like, so it was a whole experience for us. But now we are starting to gel, like, it's moving like a
Tell me about that.
Yes. I'm there with you.
How does that work?
The gelling.
the
About
gelling.
your home and, all that. How does that work? The obvious question
You're
is
going to
how
have to
intimate-
clarify what do you
how
want to know,
intimate-
because
How intimate did you choose? Are you...
Is there a schedule?
so yeah, I don't work according to a schedule. So
Okay.
I've watched many TV programs of being poly. So I said, like, I'm not going to do 1 week with you, 1 week with you, because Jack's
No, okay.
working hours are crazy. Santini is a personal trainer, so he's obviously got more flexible time.
Yeah.
Like, can we just, you've got your room, you've got your room. If you want to kiss me, you kiss me. If you want to kiss me, you kiss me.
So they've each got their own separate bedrooms,
Yes.
and you kind of move between the two bedrooms, whichever way that works. Okay.
And the kids?
Oh, they love it. They love both their dads. So
Really?
really, really.
And are they, how old are they? They're older, younger?
So my kids, Taran is 14, Lily is 12, Nathan is 11, and Violet is 7.
So you got a house full of people. Right?
7.
And if Santini, did you ever? I mean, he wanted to marry you. How old is he, if I may ask? How old is Santini?
38.
So he's 38. Does he have any ambitions of kids? Having kids?
So Santini's story is also very heartbreaking. He was married. He had a boy. He raised him for 5 years, believing it's his son. And then when he got divorced, she did a blood test, and she was like, so he's happy. He's got 4 kids now.
So he's accepted the kids. The kids accepted him. Jack is okay with it.
Yeah.
How does the marriage work, though? I didn't know. I mean, so as far as I understood, it can work the other way around.
Yeah, polygamy is very well known and used to in this country, where men obviously have more than one
Men
wife.
now.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know what the rules are
Yeah.
regarding
Polyamory.
polyamory. Well,
That
yeah.
a woman can marry
More
more than
men.
one man.
Yeah.
So that's the fight we are having now. Because why is it legal for a man to have more than one wife? I mean, even in the other countries, it's legal for a woman to have more than. But in South Africa, I'm fighting a fight.
Are you serious? So
Yeah.
it's what are you? Is it a court battle?
So at the end of the day, I said, it doesn't matter if it's legalized. It's between me and Santini and a promise that we make in front of God. So for me, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So I don't need a piece of paper saying he's
Yeah.
my husband.
And I can buy speeches for this. It's so long enough as it is. But so what you're really literally doing on that day is also marrying Santini. It's not a remarriage.
Yeah.
So you're
no,
already
I'm
married
already married to Jack, so
Jack.
it's me
Yeah.
and Santini. Yeah.
And if I may ask, what would the day look like, though? Is Jack is obviously going to be there.
Yes, he's
Boss it, I don't know.
He's the best man of Santini.
Oh.
So that's my other question. What is the relationship like? So now you all live in the same house. What is the relationship like between Santini and Jack? And if I may ask this question, are they physical as well? Or
They frustrate me sometimes because when we get into arguments now, men are men. Now it's like they are teaming up against me, and I'm like, what? Like, really? Yeah, but you must see it from his point. So now I've got a lot of manly opinions in my house, and I'm like, okay,
Oh no.
I'm like an alpha female, but you're taking away some of my alphaness. Like, just back off. I'm the alpha here, guys. Come on. So yeah.
and does it mean that because you're in this relationship, that should Jack or Santini want to bring in another partner, they can?
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
I was just about to say, you can get more
I will
alpha
never
female
be
in there.
able to do what they do. Like, my personality is very strong, so I don't know. I don't think I've got space for another man, but another woman in my house. Oh no.
So this is it, 3 of you, just the 3 of us.
Yeah, we are not in an open relationship. We do not swing. We do not do any of those. It's just us.
And I assume it's been positive experience for Jack from going to almost getting divorced to acceptance to now living full-time in the household with the setup you have.
And gaining a best friend like a brother. So
it's actually gone well for him.
Very.
If I may ask, you spoke about abuse earlier. I'm presuming it's not the marriage that you're in, or it was in the break from Jack that the abuse happened? With
Was
someone
Jack
else?
the abuser?
No. So we lived in Europe for 5 years.
Okay.
And I just lost my dad, so depression was taking me bad. My marriage was busy failing. His working hours, like, while I'm depressed, while I'm crying, it just felt like that support, because he was working like crazy hours. And then I said, no, I'm going back to South Africa. When I got here, I heard now that my high school sweetheart is also getting a divorce. And it was like, oh, it's fate, you know. But as soon as I packed my container and got back here, it went downhill. Like,
That's where the abuse happened.
yeah, so he bursted my eardrum.
Oh, no.
My eye here at the top. So yeah,
That's
me and
horrible.
all of my kids box now. I'm a big face for GBV, and
And of course, the irony of all of this is is that you're fighting for women against gender-based violence, but at the same time you're also getting a lot of criticism from women because of what you're doing, because you're a woman.
yeah,
That's the irony. Because if you were a man in this country, and you have more,
you would
than
get a
one-
high five.
You'll get a high. You'll get a high five, and it'll be written off as, well, that's, you can. It's a law. That's how you can do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, now you're facing a lot of criticism. Does it get to you some days?
A lot of days, yeah.
What is the criticism, if I may ask? What are women saying to you?
Well, because let me tell you this: when I moved back from Europe to South Africa, I had long blonde hair, so I was this Barbie doll kind of girl. And then the abuse happened, and I was just like, I shaved my hair off and everything. So automatically, because I've got short hair and I'm a boxer, and so I will hear things like, it's actually 3 men dating, or there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things,
Are they
but
implying that you're lesbian?
yeah. But if I take it on 1.1 million views, like maybe 1,000 of them are bad comments, so it doesn't even reach a 1%. But at the end of the day, they are also actually my biggest fans. They're actually closet fans, because they all look up to me like, how do I get this right? Why can't they have this life? And I just said, I don't want to live a lie. I'm on social media like every day. What was I supposed to do? Hide the other husband? Like, I am who I am. I don't want to be like everyone else. Life made me this way. Will I ever grow my hair back and become sweet old Jolene? No, I don't think so,
You know what really baffles me is the hypocrisy of people. If you think about it, you probably get criticism about your marriage situation from divorced people,
Yeah.
from divorcees.
Or people who are actually walking around and they are actually in love with someone else. They just don't know how to approach their partner about it. So I get a lot of DMs with people asking me like, how do I'm also in love with 2 people, how did you approach this? And I'm like, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Or people who are just
do
cheating
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Because, cheating is very right
A
in
lot
this
of
country.
people, they love 2 people.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
But I don't think too many other partners like a Jack would be comfortable with a situation like that. Or I don't know. I can't imagine this conversation coming up over dinner often in your usual kind of households. But I wonder now, you made me think now, if it does, maybe there could be more Jolene's and Jackson Santorinis.
Look, I do think that I know as a woman, there's always this perception or idea that I've been told, and I could be wrong, that men don't like to share. That somehow women will be more okay and accustomed to sharing their husbands with other women, but men do not like to share their women with other men. And I don't know if that's been your experience about that, and if you have any kind of, I mean, what did Jack and say? Because they're sharing you.
Yeah. So a lot of people are like, but why didn't you just get another woman? I'm like, no. So we are in a unique situation, and yeah, it is like men hunt, okay? They hunt, and their woman is their woman. But I think it takes a lot more of them. I see them more of a man, because they know that I can't be boxed. I've got this big personality. I'm here for the world. I represent so many people every day. They can't box me. So they can either accept the fact that I've got so much to give and still be there with me, or we go our separate ways.
Do you ever make them compete?
No.
No, you don't just drop in, well,
I think they
maybe
do
I
it,
should
but
just rather ask Jack.
no, never.
Because there are advantages.
I will be doing myself harm. I will be like sleeping in my own room for a week. No.
Who's more jealous?
Santini.
Is it the new guy?
Yeah.
Surely. And who helps him through that?
Me.
And Jack?
Jack is a very calm, collective guy, so their personalities are very different. You can't put two of the same men in one house. It's going to be chaotic. So they balance each other out.
Yeah, I was about to say, do they each speak to different parts of your personality?
Yeah, definitely.
Wonder, I mean, how did it, I don't know when, for men, when did that start? But it's as old as time, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Where it was normalized.
Oh, yeah.
One woman can't satisfy me, so I have to have more. And you're all different, and blah blah blah. How did that never count for women?
Well, I think it depends where in the world, because there are places, particularly I think around the Middle East, where if you're a woman of means, you could have more than one husband. It's just that societally we've just accepted that this is the norm.
I think it's that, but I also think that the way that it started as well was because back in the day, men were supposed to provide for women. So if you could provide for more than one woman, because you had access to the provision, you could go out and get a job and that kind of stuff, then you could have more than one partner.
What do you all do? I mean, I know you box. You started boxing. What is your occupation?
I'm many things. I'm an entrepreneur, but I'm a life coach. I'm mostly a TikToker. So I'm very big on the platform TikTok. So that's
advocating for
women empowerment. Yeah.
And the two guys?
So Jack is a manager. I'm not going to say which company, and Santini is a personal trainer. So.
How your perspective, your families, your separate families. How did they accept all this?
So luckily, my two men's families are not that involved in their lives. My mother was like, she found it difficult at the beginning, but we always knew, like, I've got so much love to give. I think they always saw it coming, like, with me. But now she's accepting it, but she's like telling me, you know what, if you want to be polygamous, you have to be on your throne in your own room. And she doesn't understand our routine in the house. This works for us. We tested the waters. We communicated about everything. So no one is going to understand us except us.
Have you ever had people throw religion at you? Has anyone ever leveled criticism at you in religious terms?
Yes.
What did they say?
How can I be a Christian and I'm poly? So.
And what is your answer?
Can I give you my honest answer, what I would say on a live stream?
Yes.
My God is love.
Mm-hmm.
My God walked a path with broken. He didn't walk a path with perfect people. So I believe that what I do every day on the platform, I always put everyone else's needs on top of my own. So what I do on a daily basis and how many suicides I prevent from happening, and that I don't think that people can define and say, yeah, you're not a Christian, because I am a Christian. On my live streams, I will talk about it daily. There's a lot of things I do, but when people don't follow me, they can probably see me in the street and like, what is going on there. Yeah, she's not a Christian, but I can say full-heartedly, I'm a Christian. So yeah, we are going to struggle in 3 weeks' time when we get married to get someone to marry us.
Really?
Yeah.
And tell me about the wedding. You've got a date?
Yeah, 26th of April.
Oh, it's around the corner. 26th of April. And what is the wedding going to look like? You said Jack is the best man. So you basically you're marrying.
It's your normal traditional wedding.
Everything about it is.
It's just the legalization and having a pastor there and that sort of things.
And
so
your
yeah,
families?
because I'm a woman, a lot of people look down on me.
And your families will be there? Friends?
My mom.
Your mom? Okay.
And my TikTokers are my family.
Okay, I love that. And on their side?
Santini's mother is going to be there.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. And is she accepting?
Yeah. But this will be the first time she sees it in action.
Yeah. And your kids?
Oh, they're excited. There's a few things they did for Santini, but I'm not going to say it now because I don't know when you guys are going to air this, so I don't want to spoil the surprises. Yeah.
If you think about it, you get so many what they call blended families these days.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are divorced, and then there's a new partner, but they have kids, and in a way, the ex is still in your life.
Most definitely.
In some way. You know, they hang around the lounge, the kitchen, they go out for parties and stuff like that. So from the kids' perspective, I don't think it's really a first. The legality part of it is maybe a first, and how you equally love at the same time, as opposed to the divorced situation. So a lot of people are very critical, you know, and are very concerned about your kids.
Yeah.
Many kids in this country are already in situations where they have two dads.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, or
Think
two
about it.
moms.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's your dad with your mom, and then
Your dad with your mom's new
stepdad,
partner.
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So from a kid's perspective, actually, I think sometimes we overthink this, especially when it comes to you, Jolene. I think a lot of kids already had to kind of make peace with having two dads, sometimes three.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And very often in those situations, there is an unhappy partner at the very least.
Negativity.
Yeah, right. So you leave the one household, you go to the other. They're saying bad things about mom, or they're saying bad things about dad. And I guess you're under one roof and you can solve those things as a family.
In her case, they like each other.
Yes.
That's the difference between your situation and many blended families. These two oaks like each other. The other dads, to your point,
they got issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tension.
don't come. It's your ex-wife, you know. Don't come close to
Yeah.
her. How long are you going to be there?
I do have to ask, because I think a lot of people are going to be asking this, and particularly because of the kids. What about their friends and their family? Because kids talk. And very often, you know, some kids' parents going to go, oh, my familie, wat gaan daar? And then they're now talking to your kids going, jouw familie is weird. Hoe hanteer hulle maatjies dit? Of hulle maatjies se familie dit?
So my kids are homeschooled.
Okay.
It's just how I prefer it. But my kids hear me on live streams, of course. You know, I'm a big TikToker, so I raised them to stand up for themselves. So if they can always come to me and say, listen, we have a problem with this, or because my kids are the first ones I actually spoke to about, you know, okay, we're going to move down to Durban to your dad. So this will mean I will have two husbands, and they packed their bags. They were like, yes, let's go. So because they already loved Santini, they already loved their father, it was like, so they will come into my live stream and say it for everyone, all of the viewers there, we've got two dads.
Okay.
Do you think this will mean that more of this might happen in the future?
It's already happening. So my DMs are with a lot of people wanting to come out, and there's a lot of people who are just way too scared. So people cannot believe the guts that I had to go live and say, listen, I've got. So they actually admire me in some ways.
Difference between you and a lot of people is you're just honest about it.
Yes.
And vocal about it.
Do I get crucified for it? Yes, I do. But I will rather live a truthful life than hide in the shadows. So
it's amazing, coming back to your question, Felicity, it's amazing how a lot of people, and I see this on social media with Jolene, how they are critical, and what about the kids and stuff. But it's so weird that no one asks that when people break up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No one asks
Yeah.
that anymore
Yes.
in this day and age when people get divorced.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a shock or a shame anymore, but they come down very, very, very hard on you.
Yeah. And with kids these days, more bad things happen behind closed doors, online, than out in the open and in front of eyes and in front of people.
Who gets the bill?
These are important
You
questions.
are out in the restaurant. Is there an alpha?
I get the bill.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
Do you always get the bill?
Well, then they don't have to fight. Have you
Yeah.
seen men fight over a bill? It's pathetic.
Yeah, it's bad.
No, in my case, finances always come up. Like who's the main provider? All of our finances go together, but I do make a lot of. I make good money on social media, so yeah, I get the bill.
Okay.
Good for you. Wie braai?
Ja, wie
Wie is die
braai?
beste braaier?
Hulle twee sal stry.
What is it? Listen, this will make it.
Yeah, no, I'm like,
I'm,
yeah.
Are
yeah,
you in for
I
a
think I might be.
documentary?
Yeah.
This will make it
I'm
very...
seeing benefits. 2 Bryce stands.
I'm actually very blessed with a lot of people who saw me like fighting this fight in on TikTok and everywhere, because I've had a lot of amazing people coming my way.
How can you turn it around? Who in this country can decide that they're going to change the law to be in your favor?
So there is actually a poly priest, if you can call it like that. In South Africa, he's got like the biggest church. So my struggle is to actually get him to the wedding, because he lives on this side and the wedding is in Durban. So he doesn't have a problem to do it for us. But will South Africa recognize our marriage? I don't know.
It's interesting to watch and to observe. Thank you for coming on the show and being so honest and open about it.
Thank you so
I
much
think
for having
what
me.
you've done is you've challenged every one of us
Yes.
on so many levels.
Yeah.
Yep.
You've challenged a lot of people about their relationships. I think you've challenged a lot of people about how honest they really are or not.
Breakfast with Martin Bester.